Basis Jr., Frank here. Today I'm gonna prove that gravity doesn't exist. Okay, you may think I'm crazy, but seriously, this has been proven and backed up by physics and logic. Okay, you may say that if gravity really doesn't exist, how come I'm still stuck on the ground? Because gravity is the force that pulls things down, right? Well, not really. According to some people, physicists, they say that gravity is the force that pulls things into one singular point. One point. Okay, I can also give another demonstration. You know how round our Earth is? Gravity, according to the people who believe in gravity pulls people on the ground. And since people are all over the world like this, they may be here, and here, and here, gravity just pulls them together onto the one point, like that, Yeah, so I'm gonna prove that. Okay. According to Einstein, in the year 1905, while he was sitting in his office desk in the library, he had the happiest thought in his life. The happiest idea he ever had was a man falling down off a building. Okay, I know. You may say that, what? Einstein's a madman. Why would you be happy for a man fall down off a building? Wait, let me explain. As the man is falling off the building, there is nothing supporting him, nothing pulling him down. Since I'm saying gravity doesn't exist, right? Now, if gravity doesn't exist, the only forces that exist in that inertial frame of reference, the chicken's head is at rest. It's unchanging, it doesn't move. No, that's basically the definition of inertia. Unchanging, at rest, not moving. Yeah, so that's it. You're looking at where we are an inertial observer. We're looking at that falling man. The only forces there are the upward natural forces coming from the earth. Since we're saying gravity doesn't exist, we're saying that the only force which is available now is the natural upward forces from the earth. Those forces, they come from the earth as it revolves around the sun. Now, as that man is falling down to his demise, he is not really falling down. He's not falling down because the only force which is there is upward force. So if that man were to fall down, he'll just basically be somewhere in the middle, just be here, just floating, I guess. But since the earth moves like this, it's moving upwards, that force makes an illusion that the man is falling, and he's not falling, so I just proved it. Now, let's talk about geodesics. You may be wondering, what are geodesics? Geodesics are the lines of space and time being bent. The way we like to imagine, space and time as a grid. Wait, like so. Okay, the y-axis is gonna be space and the x-axis is gonna be time. Okay, now when a large mass is inside space and time, the large mass bends the space and time and becomes curved. Okay, that curvature of space and time is called a geodesic. Okay, and that's also the reason why the moon is orbiting around the earth, why the earth is orbiting around the sun. That's the reason why. Because when you're in space and when you throw an object, it will continuously be moving in a straight line from where you throw it. But if it encounters a large mass that can bend space and time, it will continue moving in a straight line, but because the large mass bends space and time, it will bend and begin to move around the large mass. Makes sense, right? And that also can explain why the moon orbits around the earth and why the Earth orbits around the Sun, and why the solar system orbits around the center of the universe, which is a black hole. And also, let's talk about those funny black holes. Let's talk about them. We all know what's a black hole. A black hole is just this thingy in space that sucks stuff to death. But yeah, we may be kind of right. Well, we are right. A black hole is just a dead star. When a star runs out of fuel, which is hydrogen, and all it's left is like helium, which is being compressed down to one single point. As the sun runs out of hydrogen, there will be no fusion, no intermolecular fusion. No fusion equals sun collapsing into itself into one single point. And as the sun is collapsing into one singular point, it pulls also the stuff around it. The force that is pulling the helium into one point is also gonna pull the stuff around it. So it's kind of like a drain hole, when you open the drain, when you drain your tap, the water from your sink, it pulls the stuff down into one singular point. And then you'll be wondering, what? You said one point, but it's kind of like a waterfall. And let's get back to space and time. Since black holes have large amount of mass in them, even though they may look kind of smaller than a star, they have a large amount of mass. Since they're condensed into one singular point, all of that mass bends a large amount of space and time, and they can bend it so much to the point they can make something into a waterfall, to the point whereby even light can't even escape it. And when you begin to think about it, when an object falls down, goes into a black hole, as you are watching that object descend into the black hole, since the black hole bends space and time, like a waterfall like this would be the object. This is space and time being bent. It will fall down like this, and since it's falling down in a high rate, because that is there's a single point in the black hole pulling stuff together into it, then when the object is falling down, it will look like it's stuck, like it's frozen, it's not moving. The reason why it looks frozen is because those photons are trying desperately to escape the grasp of the black hole. Because when the force which is pulling down those photons along with the mass with that object of ours, the photons begin to look like they're stuck, but they begin to look like they're stuck, but they're not stuck. They're actually trying to get out like this. But eventually they will lose, and those photons begin to fall down, into the black hole. And that's why when you throw an object into a black hole, it may look like it's, just stop moving for a second, and then just disappears. Because those photons, they lose the battle, and then they fall down into the black hole. And that also brings another question. Why do large masses bend space and time? Subscribe to know the answer. Okay, okay. If you subscribe, you'll be notified, about my next video where I explain about, why large masses, bend space and time. If you subscribe, of course. And also, ring the notification bell and stay tuned. Man, that's so bad. Alright. This is Junior. Frank here. Today, I'm gonna prove that gravity doesn't exist. Alright. You guys may say, like, what's wrong with this dude? Like, bro, it's crazy. Bro, it's so bad.